Hey guys, thanks for joining us for another episode of Utterly Unfiltered with
Tash
and
Cara.
How
to say your name for you?
Yeah, I don't know, it just felt right. Anyways, thank you so much for coming back if you are still with us. Appreciate it. And any new listeners, thank you for joining. We are here to talk all about life in your 20s and navigating everything you could think of, and also not always navigating, but also like lessons learned, right?
Yes, most
like
definitely.
What we're struggling with. We do not claim to know solutions of everything, but we can tell you what helps us, right?
Exactly. We can share our experience, and hopefully our experience makes yours feel a little more normal.
Correct. Absolutely that. Yeah, this episode's all going to be about, well, it's free therapy. God.
It's free therapy,
Don't
so
we all
disclaimer.
need that? Ooh.
We obviously believe in therapy. I don't know if that's obvious. If you've listened to any of our previous episodes, you'll know we are big advocates for therapy. However, it was a trend for a while, was like free therapy, like my free therapy, like basically just the concept of like what you do for yourself to make yourself feel better and stay mentally there.
Yes.
So it's not a replacement for therapy, but it's a nice little,
It's a nice little what you can do. And speaking of, before we get right into the thick of it, you are running a half marathon coming up pretty soon. And I feel like that's a healthy habit, right? That you were talking about in previous podcasts of like getting into sort of health and fitness.
By the time this episode is out, I'll have run it already.
We've done it, so we won't know now yet whether you survived, but
This is crazy. Well, the thing is that I actually ran a half marathon on Thursday.
You did. Oh my god, so easy. Done. Been there, done that.
Yes, that wasn't the intention. I have been very slack with my training. Me and my friend signed up for this back in April. We did a 10k and the runner's high, it got us good. And so literally we got home and we had a glass of Prosecco to celebrate our 10k, and we were getting ready to go out in London, and we're like, let's sign up for a half marathon. And to be fair, my friend had done one before, so she already knew that she could do it. I, meanwhile, had only ran about 4 kilometers as of January 2024. And then I ran 10 kilometers in April, and I had not ever ran 10k when I did the 10k. I ran 8, but I had an injury, so I just like rested for 2 weeks in advance.
Yeah.
So I didn't actually know I could do 10. Obviously I did, and it was great, and I had a great time. So I was like, fine, easy, can do that. Let's do a half marathon. So I've been very slowly training over the last 6 months, which sounds like plenty of time. But honestly, when you give yourself that much time,
sometimes it doesn't.
It's
like,
slack.
you stack. You still use probably the same amount of time as you would if you had a really short amount of time.
Yes,
because you put it off.
it's exactly what happened.
Yeah,
and
mine does that to us.
I was procrastinating massively. And the last couple of weeks, I've been running like twice a week maybe, but the most I've ever ran outside is 11k. And the most I've ever ran inside on a treadmill, which does feel very different, was 15k. I was like, well, if I can do 15 outside, then that's good enough. I can then do 21 outside.
Yeah.
I'll be fine. Like, they always say, like, you rarely ever actually run the distance of, like, a half marathon. Or, like, a marathon you never run the distance of in advance of it.
Absolutely. But you get by on adrenaline, crowd atmosphere, but also, like, your body isn't injured, so it's physically fit. You'll probably injure yourself afterwards, but, like, at the time you're still strong because you haven't had the injuries from having run the same.
Exactly. And it's more about stamina then. And it's like, if you can get to a certain distance, you could probably just do the whole thing.
True.
I think that's the vibe, but for me, I had put so much pressure on myself for this half marathon. Talk about self-imposed pressure. I was just so nervous about the fact that we have 11 people coming. Actually, we have 13 people coming.
Really? To support?
So cool. So actually, wait, there's us 2 and then there's 11 more. So we're total 13 people, but there's 11 people coming to watch us.
Wow.
Just me and my friend. And that is a whole lot of pressure. And my friend is now training for the London Marathon. She's like a little faster than me. And so I know she'll finish before me, which is totally fine. We're all different. We all have different speeds. Like, it's not a competition. But in my brain, everybody would be waiting for me to finish.
Sure.
And
that's your conspiracy theory about yourself.
It's a conspiracy theory for sure. But in my brain, it's like they've already sat around for 2 and a bit hours. And now they're going to have to wait another 20 odd minutes for me to finish after my friend.
Okay.
So I was like, oh, I'm going to feel so bad about that. I just had this like, just like that horrible feeling of like, Just this pressure that I put on myself, which was completely self-imposed. No one's ever said anything about it to me. But in my head, I just had this like nerves. So anyways, I went out to do a 15K and I was procrastinating it so hard that I cleaned my entire house. I took every appliance.
It does
off
look
the
very
side.
clean, actually.
So clean, right?
So clean.
I took every single appliance off of the side in the kitchen, and I wiped every appliance and every single aspect. I took the knife rack apart and cleaned the inside of it.
What about the toaster? Did you empty your little...
emptied the toaster.
That's like, for me, that's the epitome.
That's the top, yeah.
That's the top standard of cleaning.
I demolded to the best of my ability. The opposite bathroom is still moldy. We do have someone coming to look at it. But I demolded to the best of my ability that entire bathroom, which involves putting the gel on, waiting 3 hours, wiping it off. Like, it's like a full thing. I replaced 3 of the bathroom tiles because the tiles were falling out. I'm not even kidding. It was that much. I was procrastinating until 3:30 p.m. And I was like, fine, I really do have to go for this 15K, otherwise it's going to get dark, and I don't want to run after the dark. Anyway, so I ran my 15K, and around the 9K mark, you know when you like go into that spiral, like that negative spiral in your brain, you think of every worst case scenario.
Oh yeah, oh my god, yeah. We love doing that to ourselves.
And as somebody who is very like, we were talking about it before, like prideful, that I don't quit things when I sign up for them. Yeah. Like that's it. Like if I sign up for something, I'm going to do it.
Sure.
Like that's the end. I kept having these like premonitions as I was running of like, this is the first time I'm ever going to actually let myself down. I'm not going to complete it. I'm going to quit. Like I'm going to not be able to finish, and I'm going to let everybody who's watching down. I'm going to let myself down. It's going to be embarrassing. Like I was fully having a spiral of like, I'm not going to be able to do this, and therefore I am going to just be a mess. I'm not gonna be able to get out of bed for a week. Like I like properly had like,
probably worst case scenario.
I'd like really gone hard.
Okay.
And I was only like
why
8K in or something.
Oh my god, yeah.
I was
But you're running. You're literally proving
running.
yourself that you can do it at the time, but still your mind goes.
But I was in pain. I was sore, and I was like, I've still got like so many kilometers to go, regardless of the freaking half marathon. And anyway, I just had spiraled so hard. Anyway, I ended up pulling myself out of it and just being like, you know what, Tash, this is not how you run. Like, I've always been someone who, like, when I run, I like saying things to myself, like, I am strong, I am fast.
Positive affirmations.
Like, this is easy. Running is so easy for me. Like, and it genuinely changes, like, your entire mood. And I run and I smile, and I look like a freaking freak.
Oh my god.
But I do.
I'm trying to
run
picture
around this.
That is absolute Halloween, like, that is like the Joker type vibes.
It is, because when you're trying to breathe,
can you demonstrate?
Right, literally
no
like
one will
this.
see it.
Like, we'll see it.
But do this. That's terrifying. That's terrifying. It is
so scary.
I don't think I'm gonna sleep. That is scary. Wow. But it does
work.
Does it make you feel?
It literally works so well.
But they say you should smile. Not even just in the context of running, right? But like to extrapolate
it can
that.
turn your whole mood around.
Yeah, like
it's biological. Yeah, it really works. You can be grimacing, but you feel better. It's beautiful, Cara. Gorgeous. Honestly.
Actually quite like
kind
it.
of terrifying, but yeah. And it really works anyway. So I pulled myself together and I ended up running about 15 kilometers. And at that point I was like, well, I ran 15. If I just do 6 more, I'm done. I've done the half marathon. I know I can do it. And it was always my goal to do it in advance so that I wouldn't have this weird internal pressure. And so I text Ali and I was like, I need your help. Like, can you come to me with like water and fuel? Like, you know, like something to eat or something like that. I'm dying.
The last,
And by the time he like had got to me, I was about 18K in, and I had a meltdown. I had an actual meltdown. I paused my watch and I sat on a bench, which obviously is cheating, but still whatever. I won't do that on the real thing. But I sat on a bench and I was hysterically crying. Like I literally was like hysterical.
What, like exhaustion or like
absolute
frustration or
exhaustion?
Okay.
Because I hadn't had enough water, because I obviously didn't think I was going to run that far.
Yeah.
And I brought myself down to empty, and I hadn't had enough food to fuel myself. I had eaten before I went, but I hadn't had any carbs. I just had like some bean burgers and some broccoli.
Yeah.
Like it was enough for 15K, but it's not enough for 21. Like it's crazy how much that extra really does take it out of you.
Yeah. Well, then you're in reserves, right? Like the probably up until that point you're absorbing what you currently have in your system. But then you're literally feeding off your own body.
Yeah, and I was really struggling with that concept. And it was so hard. Anyways, Ali like got to me in the end, and like literally as I was on the bench like sobbing my eyes out. I'd even texted him, I said, don't bother, just go home, like I'll walk back, like I can't do this, like it's over. And anyway, he turned up. I'm not even kidding, I guzzled, like it was like a litre bottle of like water he brought me. I guzzled half of it like in one sitting, which I'm definitely not supposed to do after running that far, but I think I was just so thirsty.
Yeah, you needed it, clearly.
And I like pounded the Skittles, and I was like, right, it's just 3k left. And I did the final, I pressed play again, I did the final 3k. And I did all of that, like obviously I'd paused when I was like crying on the bench, but the whole, which was like 15 minutes for real, just me sobbing on the bench, so pathetic. No. But
well,
it's just
not, like,
it's not pathetic actually. It was just like I was suffering.
Yeah, you were suffering. God.
But I think I was like 2 hours and.
Can I just clarify?
Yeah.
Were you smiling while sobbing on the bench? Because that would be absolutely sending.
But it's so funny because like Ali like arrived obviously, and he's like, no, it's okay. Like you're okay. You've got this. Like you're strong. You can do this. Whatever. And then I had the water and I had some Skittles, and I turned around and I was like, oh, I feel great. I could do this.
Yeah.
This is easy. Like, I'm all good.
Like, what was I worried
I had nothing in me. I was empty. I just needed something. Like,
fatigue is very emotive. Like, oh my goodness, I have felt so emotional when I've been tired.
Yeah, and it's that pressure that I put on myself as well. And then because
you
I told myself,
right? You wouldn't have stopped. You would have been like, no, I'm gonna come hell or high water.
Yeah.
I am finishing this run, but I'm either going to do it in intense pain and suffering, or I'm going to get my fuel that my body needs.
And the idea that I was actually going to quit at 18 and just walk home literally told me like, I'm proving to myself, like talking about the self-trust from a previous episode.
Yeah.
I'm proving to myself I can't do this.
Sure.
And I'm going to ruin how I feel about myself if I don't complete this. But
That's a lot of pressure.
I'm so gone that I actually can't complete this, and I'm going to have to just ruin it.
Yeah.
And it's like, it was a horrible feeling. And yeah, it was just total exhaustion, to be honest with you, and like the mental pressure. But I did the last 3k. I was fine. It was all good. Like I literally was completely fine. I had no like physical pain. I've got like a little bit of a sore right knee at the moment, but like that was like hitting like the last like 300 meters. It kicked in. It was like nothing.
Sure.
So, and now I'm not running again until the half marathon. I'm not doing any exercise.
Because you
yoga and some Pilates and stuff, but not any like
because you've done all you can. Your cardio, like you're fit.
I'm done. And I did it all under 2.5 hours, which is what I want to do. Because I'm not a fast runner. Like I never claimed to be. I have asthma.
Crying on the bench.
No, so that was 15 minutes. So the whole thing was 2 hours and 45. Okay. But if I paused my Apple Watch, and my whole run was 2 hours and 26 minutes.
And you'll be more prepared. You'll have more
like
the vibes there.
Yeah.
You got this. You absolutely got this.
And in my head as well, like I just want to do it under 2.5 hours. Like I really don't care about my speed at all. But in my head, I'm like 2.5 hours is as much as I can ask people to sit around and wait for me for. And like I'd like self-impose this like timeline on myself where I just wanted it to be under that amount. So the fact that I did that without even intending to, is like, oh, okay, I can actually do this. This is actually fine.
You absolutely can.
Like, and I also like
smash it.
I like slowed down for some bits to like take a little like picture or like a video like earlier on for my like TikTok and things like that. So like I wasn't really like running like race pace.
Sure.
Like majority of it.
Because you also hadn't planned to do.
No,
from what it sounds like, the whole thing. So you're not taking it as seriously.
No.
I
never have to do it again. After Sunday, I will never ever have to run that far again. Because I will never do it.
You never have to, but you will always have the choice.
Nope. I'm not doing it. If you hear me come on this podcast and tell you I'm running a marathon, okay,
what should they do?
Check me in.
Okay.
Because I have lost my mind. Okay. I cannot do that.
I will come there with you. We will go together. We will self-check in. We will self-section ourselves.
No way.
Absolutely. Me not for doing something. If your like version of like I need to go to an asylum is because you want to run a marathon, that's already a ridiculously practical thing to do. Mine would be because I'm absolutely
practical. Running a half marathon. Who needs to run 42 kilometers in this day and age? That's not practical. It's bloody insane.
In this day and age, I don't know if needed to anyway, but like fairs. Wow. I'm doing an inflatable run.
Ooh,
5Ks. Wow. I'll be thinking of you.
Run?
It'll be the same weekend actually. So when I'm finished, it's like you've got like balance classes basically. You know, like it's.
Do you run like up them?
And there's various different ones.
It's kind of like Tough Mudder, but like blow up.
Yes, it's blow up exactly. And imagine being in like in McDonald's before they had these ridiculous like rows of iPads. Ugh, slimy, gross. They had like indoor.
Also slimy gross.
Also slimy gross, but like more More like you're actually actively doing something with yourself other than just looking at a screen. So still gross. Probably even more. But you know where you like you'd have ones where you'd run in between the sort of plastic things that you'd kick against them, and you'd run over this little bridge, and you'd climb up these little. I'm kind of thinking it. I'm hoping it's going to be like a giant Mackie D's indoor play area, but it's not. It's going to be bouncy.
And it won't end in fries.
And it won't end in fries.
Or a Happy Meal.
Well, unless I go and get myself.
Yeah, you might have to.
I think I should.
Yeah.
Now I want to.
Deserve it after that.
But it's only 5Ks. So, and it's not going to be like. Let's be honest. If you're running, because I've done like a Mudnificent, that was a 7K.
Mm-hmm.
But because we had to like stall at every obstacle, it doesn't feel like a run because you're resting for quite a bit of time.
Yeah.
It's fun.
That's really fun. I want to do that.
Yeah, I'm excited for it.
But I'm not
training for it.
Hours.
Let's put it that way. I'm not training for it.
Yeah.
No, I think it's awesome what you're doing.
Yeah.
And you'll smash it.
Yeah. I'll let you know how it goes next time we record. But
I suppose
I'm sure it'll be fine.
Live.
I can't believe I'm doing it, to be honest.
I can.
Crazy.
You are going to smash it. No, not crazy. Crazy's good. We advocate for crazy on this podcast as well, by the way.
We do.
So, shall we?
Oh yes.
Divulge into
there was a whole
therapy.
topic we needed to go through.
Yeah. This is interesting. So, can I start with this one?
Yes, please.
So the first note that I have made, because we make notes now, because we're trying to be actually useful to society, is I need more of this, please.
You need more free therapy in your life. Yeah.
Okay, so
free therapy for definition is things that we do to support our mental health and be our best selves.
Perfect. So it's things that we action, right? It's not. It's not led by anyone else. It's led by us.
Yeah.
Cool. So I have made a few notes on these. Probably a couple of major points, and then like something that I want to do for future.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That I identified like I'm not doing now, but I should.
Mm-hmm.
So what I want to do more of is gratitude. That's a big one, and actually it's something I've found that has been pretty fundamental to my mental well-being.
Yeah.
Same as like I think we've said in another podcast, it's like it's crazy how you have to practice gratitude. Like you have to make yourself sit down and write lists of things to be grateful for. There's so many, but to actually actively go and pay attention to them.
Yeah, it's not easy, is it?
Not easy,
hard,
and it should be, but like our default, be it evolutionary or like whatever you can to logic the fact that we default to a negative, fearful mindset. Gratitude is not something that like I'm ashamed to say. It's not something that I'm like that it comes naturally. So I love to write 3 things I'm grateful for, and also 3 things like setting intentions, like 3 things I am grateful for, but assuming that they've happened and they haven't. So it's like
manifesting.
Exactly. So I am grateful that I'm going to release my EP, and you're definitely going to go and listen to it. That's like what I want to be grateful for.
Yeah.
As well as the here and now, because I think that's part of goal setting too, and paying attention to what you would want from your future self, and ties in maybe a little bit to mindfulness and what I call the nature walks, which you're doing a lot of.
Yes, tell me about those.
Very cool. Well, I like to I think when I go out, we touched on this not in a podcast but separately, was when you go out for a nature walk, it's like what are your habits? So you don't listen to music and I don't listen to music, right? And that's because I want to be like, from a sensory perspective, I want to absorb everything I can. So I want to pay attention to like visually what's in my line of sight. I want to hear like the bird song or the trees, the wind or the cars, whatever it is. I want to smell the fresh flowers or the wood. I love rain. I love it when it's rain and you smell this like
wet grass.
Oh, it's the best. And wet pavement. Love wet pavement. Taste, I don't really necessarily go around like chomping on anything. But you know, yummy, the scent. But yeah, it's like trying to absorb everything that you can in the present. And I think nature is just the most natural form of that, really.
Yeah, I mean that concept of like see, hear, taste, touch, smell, it is something that's used in therapy to kind of reground yourself.
And, bring you to the present. Yeah, so not even with nature walks, right? But you're absolutely right. It's like
applying that
if you're panicking,
concept is great. Yeah.
If you're anxious about something, it's like that is the one way to bring you here into the here and now. And
how often do you do those?
I haven't for a while. I did when I took my year out for music. Although I wasn't productive with music, I was very productive with feeling good in myself, and I never felt better. Actually, completely let it slip, because again, it's a practice, and you have to put time and effort in. and now I don't have the time or / don't make the time for myself to do that. So I loved it. I absolutely loved it, but I haven't done it for so long. And now I'm back to the point where I'm like, if I'm going for a walk, it's for exercise. It's not for mindfulness. So I'd like to get back to that, and it's not the best time of year to start getting back into that, but I guess
or it is the best time,
or it is, yeah,
because
it's pretty.
It's the time in which we need that vitamin D
true,
more.
I'm not going to want to run.
No,
to be honest, it's freezing. I'm probably going to want to just wrap up and like have my gloves and everything. So, yeah, that's definitely so. Gratitude, big one for me.
Yeah.
That helps me to recenter and recognize what's important.
I love that.
Yeah, and then I've got okay, my intentions. So what did I? Oh yeah, I did. So I said gratitude, mindfulness, and relaxation. Oh, and I have been stargazing a lot recently as well.
Oh,
I
lovely.
do. I go out in like the evenings, and like I'll try and like I'll turn the lights off in the house.
Yeah.
To just get full impact. And I'm just like lying there, and like again, it will get too cold for this, but I'm there in the grass, and I'm just like looking at the stars and
You're in the grass,
just enjoying it. Sometimes I've got music, sometimes I'm not. Sometimes there's things crawling on me. Sometimes I don't care. Sometimes I really do care, and I'm like, nah, get up and leave. And sometimes it's freezing, but I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying like I love to contemplate. It goes back to what we were saying in like the episode about looking for purpose and romanticizing things, and I definitely do that. So I love to look at the stars and be like, what do they mean?
Yeah.
And have no conclusions, because we never will, but I just like the process of thinking about it.
Yeah.
So
I guess
that's
what
cool.
I like about these things that you've mentioned is that all of them, they bring you back to the present moment.
Yeah, oh
like
my gosh,
gratitude, nature walk, stargazing, they all basically they turn you away from all the external distractions, and they put all of that kind of focus on like where you are now, what you're feeling in that moment.
That is something we touched on, and this is probably on a very early episode, but it was like, I've heard an expression that, again, it's an opinion expression, it's not verified, but it was something someone had said that for them, the experience of anxiety is living in the future, and the experience of depression is living in the past. So the only way, the way for them to be really mentally, like to experience mental well-being, is to live in the present. Yeah. And I can see that. Like, my anxiety is only ever about what could happen. Yeah. Not what is happening. Yeah. Because what is happening is nothing, and actually it's all good. It's fine. Yeah. Depression, I guess, I associate maybe with a sense of melancholy about like what life was like when I was a kid, and what I had and what I don't, and like, so I get that. So it's like being able to be here, but it's so really hard when there's distractions.
You need to carve that time away as well. Carve that time.
Oh yeah.
For those actions.
For sure. And because we're really also conditioned to think, to like have to have like being results driven, and there's no result to being mindful. There's no like, you don't do a meditation and then get like a grade or a gold star, like, but it is, so you can't measure it, and it's hard for me as someone who likes to measure my progress to do something that I can only feel the results of. I can't actually like evidence them, but
and they compound too a lot of the time. They add up over time. Rather than just being an immediate. Oftentimes, you will feel better, but actually the real benefits you'll get from doing things like that consistently.
Exactly. Consistency is a big one too. But my intentions, because I would be lying if I said I do any of these things. So well, I mentioned about drinking, but we don't talk about that because we are drinking wine. Anyways, so my other intention was screen time, and I alluded to this earlier, but it was like I'm in that really tricky stage of trying to balance social media with music, because ultimately, that is how I'm marketing my product. But posting on Instagram, like stories, posts, reels, commenting on other people's, like, I overthink it to the nth degree. Probably people look at it, if I'm lucky, for like 5 seconds and move on with their lives. But in my mind, like, that's all that person is seeing, and like, oh my god, what are they thinking of me? So I know I need to take some social media breaks. I just don't know how to do that when I'm trying to promote an EP. So that's not really a question for advice, because who knows. But it's more just a statement of like,
be mindful of it.
That's where I'm at the moment. So watch this space, figuring that one out.
I think it is hard, especially like I've had it before in the past when my job's been on social media, and like finding that balance of like, what am I on here for? Like, am I here for inspiration and creativity and engagement, or am I on here just to doom scroll and compare and make myself feel worse? Because I think a lot of the time when you're trying to create a career for yourself and that involves social media, comparison can be a huge pain point there for sure.
For sure.
And the more time you spend on social media, the more you deem the things that you see as normal. And that's like what you should be and what you want, and maybe you should be doing it. You know, maybe I should be posting in this way because this one is, and they're doing it really well.
Oh, for sure.
You, it's very hard to, you know, you say a lot about like how you're still finding like, you know, which version of yourself you want to put on social media and what kind of music you want to put out there and what your vibe is. And I can imagine that part of that is probably because, and it's not copying. I don't mean it in this respect at all, but it's like if you see somebody doing something and doing well in that route, it's very easy to be like, right, well, the thing that they're doing well is this, and so maybe I should be doing that too. And then you see someone else and they're doing well is this, maybe I should be doing that. Oh, and then all of a sudden you've got like 5 different directions that you want to go in, and you're like, oh, I want to put out this content and this content and this content and this content, and that's very overwhelming.
No, for sure, absolutely is. And I actually, the thing that frustrates me the most, it's frustrating, but I guess if you come at it from a different perspective, it's probably like really freeing for some people, but that there is no answer.
Yeah.
And there is no method, and there is no like, do this and this and this and you will get this success, or target this market and this, and then that, like...
That's honestly my theory for social media, for sure.
There's tips, there's hashtags, there's locations, there's things you can do, but ultimately who you portray, you have to be happy with. And I mentioned this before, but it's like so funny. So I was speaking to a friend of mine, and I was talking about when I was posting some more daring and bold photos on Instagram, nothing crazy, but just like trying to promote the new sort of dark, sort of sultry side of the music. And my friend Tania was saying that it was something like, it was such an like innocent way to portray it, but it was so accurate. It was like, well, if you know, be happy with what you're putting out there. If you feel good and you feel happy, and if Patricia from down the road thinks it's inappropriate, well, fuck Patricia. And I was like, yeah, there's no Patricia. Patricia is just a representation of people that will judge, but actually, yes, fuck them.
Yeah.
Like, true, if you can be happy with it, and I know when I'm happy with something, and we talked about this earlier separate to this, but it was like, I know the version of myself that I'm presenting I'm happy with. There's others that I'm not as confident with, but I'm still happy to be that way. I just need to get used to presenting myself in a different way. But it's it's interesting. Anyways, we're on a social media spiral now.
No, but I agree with you, and I think I know we'll turn off the
But it's a big thing though. It's a big thing because a lot of people now are on social media.
Yeah, it's a huge part of our lives.
Especially like oh god, I just say it's younger generations. I am Gen Z.
I'm not.
You're not because you're 29 years alive. I was like,
you're not 29. I'm 28.
Get between, like, sure. But yeah, it's a big thing.
It is a big thing for sure. I think that's a whole. I mean, the thing is that I'm not going to speak for you, but I also am. I don't know if we've got it sorted yet. You know how we feel about social media or anything like that.
No chance.
And so it's one of those topics where like I'd love to deep dive into it more when we've kind of learned a little bit more about how we want to balance it in our lives too.
God. Yeah. Do you think we ever will though? I sometimes think I will never know.
Yeah, well, I'd love to work towards it. Honestly, like I took a huge break from social media when I turned 27, so last year. I signed off like Instagram.
You did, I remember that. Yeah.
And I didn't go on it for about 8 months, and then I think I posted like maybe 2 or 3 pictures this year. Like and now I am using it because now I'm unemployed and I'm looking at like what I want to do, and I'm considering different things, and also I actually think that from having that big break I don't feel like I'm addicted to it anymore. Like I really don't feel that kind of like attachment to social media. I think occasionally I've been like, actually I'm posting a little bit more than I normally would. Like for example, I went on my holiday with my friend. I posted more on my Instagram than I have on any holiday. I have not posted for any other holidays that I've been to this year, and I haven't been places.
Sure.
But I don't think I even posted a single picture when we went up to Lake District for your wedding or anything like that. Like, really just didn't. But but I posted, because my friend was posting on Instagram, I posted on Instagram as well. Again, like, nothing to do with her. Like, it's just when someone else is on it, you just go on it as well.
Of course.
And so I was like, oh, I'm posting on it. And then I realised when I got home, I was like, no one really cares. And I think that's like the biggest thing with social media.
Yeah.
It makes sense when you're promoting a brand, you're promoting music, you're trying to market your music, right? You want people to care because you want them to listen to your music. And that's how you're going to find these people. You need to attract them somehow.
Sure.
That's the, you know, it's an attraction platform. That's how it works. But actually, if you're an individual and you find that you are seeking validation through social media, perhaps take a break.
Yeah, so different, like, it depends on what you're gaining from it.
Yeah, because
and
what
how
I've
emotionally
realised,
resilient you're able to be from it. Yeah,
definitely. What I've realised is that I literally have 70 followers on Instagram. Like, I have a small private Instagram account. My Instagram story will get like 30 views. I know all of those 30 people. Like, it's not like, it doesn't matter. Like, I don't actually care.
No, for sure. Just for sure, yeah.
So...
Same with my private, though. Like, my private Instagram,
Yeah.
my private Facebook. I have no qualms with if I have 1 like or 10 likes.
And then I think to myself, well then, if that's the case, why am I even posting on there? Like, what am I have it on my camera roll. I have you know, I can't see it right now because I'm on nighttime mode, but my lock screen is me at sunrise swimming in the sea in Mallorca. I don't need to just about see them.
Oh.
I can't because it's on nighttime mode.
Oh, I see.
But I don't think it's going to, don't think I can turn
But then is it also because you like to share? Because part of it is sharing. Like, you share your experiences, your friends can...
You can see.
Oh my gosh, that looks beautiful.
It's beautiful. I don't know if I can show that. I don't know if you can see this, but anyways, it's me at the beach.
Oh, the amazing... It's sunrise?
Sunrise, yeah, that's the sunrise.
That is so
It's
cool.
like, that's what I need my photos for. I don't need it to go on Instagram.
Yeah.
Like, I don't need that validation. I think it's easy to
stunning.
fall into the trap, honestly.
Yeah.
Anyways, we should get back to free therapy. I completely went down a different tangent there.
Tell me yours. So,
I mean, social media is one of them. You're right. Like, it's one of them for sure. But
did it come up on your list as well?
no, I just said I have like so many examples. Like, I do have so many. I think I honestly constantly work towards this. Like, my life is just one long stream of picking up and dropping different habits to see what works for me and what doesn't.
Your trial and error.
Like, I trial and error hard.
Who isn't?
Everything.
Right?
With different types of exercise, different, you know, should I eat 30 grams of protein at breakfast? Like, you know, should I, you know, not eat breakfast and intermittent fast and all these kind of things? Not for, like, weight, but for energy levels and for how you feel, you know, in your body and all that kind of thing. Should I have caffeine first thing in the morning, or should I wait till after I've had something to make stomach so that I don't get anxious?
Yeah.
And, like, I've tried all these things. Like, you know, vitamins.
But that's a good thing.
Yeah,
by the way. Like, that's the way to test your...
I'm just experimenting.
That's how you test yourself and your comfort levels and your, like, that is, people learn a lot about themselves through experimentation.
Yeah.
I never want to get trapped.
No.
In the, like, okay, this is working for me.
Yeah.
I'll keep doing it. Like, no.
Yeah. It could
Just
always be better.
Yeah. There's always more. There's always more to experience.
In my opinion, it could always be better.
Okay.
So, but some things that really work for me is to start my day off with some strong habits so that I feel accomplished in the morning, and then that way I'm more likely to go through the rest of the day acting accomplished, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So, like, I basically am just trying to remove stress from my life from anywhere that I can. So if I can get out of bed, wash my face, do my skincare, put some real clothes on, take my vitamins, have my, like, greens or whatever, like, unload the dishwasher, open the curtains, make the bed. If I can do all those things in the first 30 minutes of my morning, then I have already set myself up for a productive day.
On that, I won't take over here, but like,
no,
I have heard, someone has said to me before about like making your bed in the morning. Such a simple task, but if it's the first thing you do and the first thing you've done is achieve something, it's almost like what do they say, like organized space, organized mind or something, and it's that sense of getting up and doing something from the get-go that's productive.
Yeah. It stops you from falling into that trap of being lazy, then feeling lazy, then telling yourself you're lazy, and then being more lazy again.
But
like,
so simple. Such a simple, actionable thing.
Yeah.
But the amount of times this week I have looked at my bed that is not made and decided not to make it.
It's so easy to start this.
Yeah, but I never do it.
It's done. It's over.
I don't do it.
See, I have to do it because if my bed's not made, getting into it seems disgusting to me. Yeah. I don't want to get into an unmade bed.
But I mean, it is the same bed.
No, it just feels dusty.
You have a lot of teddies on your bed. I appreciate that. You want a big teddy bear. That is so cute.
Such a teddy girl.
I'm not going to make us go down that track though. So, okay. So,
start your day with good habits.
Start your day with good habits.
Just small ones. We're not talking about crazy things here. We're just talking about drinking water, take your vitamins, you know, personal hygiene, like that kind of thing, for sure.
Super self-care orientated though. Like, looking after yourself.
Yes.
Number one.
Exactly. Very important. The second one is I don't drink coffee after midday, and I usually only have like 2 coffees a day.
Midday, so what, 12?
Yeah.
1?
So today we had one little
amazing.
bit. We had one at 1, and honestly, the reason for that is it's 10:15 and we're still recording. Like I'm usually in bed at 9 o'clock.
And we're not done. We are not.
We're not done. No. But on like a work day, on a normal day, I don't have coffee after midday, and I will never have more than 2. And that is honestly for anxiety reasons. It was so funny actually. I never really thought that coffee gave me anxiety. I love coffee. Like I'm a coffee girl through and through. I have 2 coffee machines. I'm obsessed. But I had noticed, and it didn't help. I wasn't enjoying my job, and I changed jobs obviously, and so that has something to do with it too, for sure. And I can't discount that. But I had noticed that I was starting to get like heart palpitations later in the day, and I wasn't really sure why. And I think what I worked out is, well, what I stopped doing was having like a third coffee, basically, like later on in the day, like, you know, like around 2 o'clock-ish or something. And it got rid of it completely. And I think I was always having double shots, because I could either do double shot or single shot on my machine. Ooh. And I was always doing double shot because of the volume.
You were actually having like 6.
I was having a lot more.
Coffees,
caffeine wise, and I just realised that's really not good for my. Honestly, it was literal heart palpitations.
It literally sends them out though. It sends your heart rate out. Couple that with, I've had days where I've started with a coffee or a couple coffees, gone for a run in the afternoon, then had alcohol.
Yeah.
My heart rhythm is like, what is going on?
Yeah,
what are you trying to do to me?
Yeah, it's hard.
Very much so.
So that's a big one. It's so simple as well. Just don't drink coffee after midday. Like, and the funny thing is that people say like, oh, I need the coffee to keep myself awake because I'm tired and all that kind of thing. Actually, if you look into the science behind it, like the effectiveness of coffee, like it really does dwindle, like throughout the number that you have and throughout the day as well. Because if you drink coffee when you're already tired, it doesn't have the same impact as it does. I don't think it really has any impact actually. You're supposed to drink it before you get tired. It's like there's like a peak time in which you can drink it. If you've already hit
didn't know this.
the bottom of that peak, you know.
Okay.
You when you have coffee, you're going to go up like this much, but you're never going to hit there again. Whereas if you have it about here, halfway through the peak, you'll just bypass the low and you'll just go back up again. If that makes sense.
Is it, or is it not the same in the sense of like sugar, of like it's effective but short term, and then you'll crash.
Yeah.
I've definitely had like, and to be honest, like I felt, but I cannot describe how it feels. But I've had that caffeine high. So I'm trying this thing out where I'm trying to fast, not on weekends, but like I won't eat until I can have black coffees. But I've been having a lot more coffee because it also suppresses appetite a bit. So I'll start eating at like 12, and then I'll stop at 8. And it's meant to be just really good for like, there's no insulin.
Yeah, that's intermittent fasting. Yeah,
that's the one. So but only on like, not on weekends, obviously. But I've been drinking a lot more. I also used to have 1, max 2 coffees a day. I'm probably having 5 now. Jeez. Because it's like, I'll have like 2 in the morning or 3 because it's the only thing I can consume until lunchtime. Yeah. And then I will probably have 1 in the afternoon. Yeah. So maybe 4. But it's a lot. And I definitely have this feeling of like jitteriness but in my mind it's kind of like that anxiety. It's like, is it excitement or anxiety? Like I feel a buzz, but it's not a really comfortable, chilled out, laid back buzz. It's some kind of like, it's on like edge. I'm on edge, but sometimes that's a bit exhilarating. That's what gets me, like makes me work. You know, like I'm like, I'm gonna type out these emails. This is Tiffany. Yeah, this is Tiffany.
She's crazy.
I'm crazy. Tiffany crazy. Tiffany be crazy. my alter ego be crazy.
That's craziness.
But yeah, okay.
You literally shouldn't. I think the study said, I can't remember if it's 8 hours or 10 hours, but before you go to bed, there's a certain number of hours before which you shouldn't have caffeine because it's still actually.
Pretty sure it's meant to be like 8 hours.
Yeah.
But then tea has caffeine, but not the same. It's not as like.
And that is what I do tend to do. Like if I am getting to the afternoon and I am lagging, I'll have a cup of tea. Or even a green tea. And like it gives you that kind of little extra something. It kind of almost gives you the placebo effect as well. Yeah. Of like, oh, it's okay. Like I'm having some caffeine. Like I'm getting like, you know, I'm re-energizing myself here, even though, you know, compared to a double shot coffee, you're getting like the tiniest amount. But
True.
if it does the job, it does the job. But
True.
no, for real, for anxiety, definitely, I think, and also for sleep. If you do struggle with sleep, then definitely no coffee after midday. Stay off the coffee after midday. I go to bed very early, so for me, like 1 o'clock really is the last before.
Sure.
Otherwise, I'm eating into my sleep time.
And you don't want that. We need sleep.
I love my sleep so much. I've got more.
Ooh, we've got more.
These ones are more. One of them I wrote down. I realized actually wasn't free, so I'm not gonna do that one.
What do you mean? Oh, as in like you have to pay for it?
Yeah.
Which one was it? Out of interest?
Date nights outside the house.
Date nights. Yeah. Okay.
That's like I wrote it
free date
basically
night. You could go to the
in lieu of. I kind of wrote down like the first one was more like to do with stress, which was the starting with the day with strong habits. The second one was to do with anxiety, the coffee. The third one was to do with relationships. That's the date nights outside the house. It's basically just having quality time outside of your home if you live with your partner.
You categorize.
You really need that's just my choice to rate it that way. It's not
No. I like it. I like it. Because there are so many facets.
Really
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, I think it's really valuable to get outside the house once a week and have that quality time where you're not like in your own environment, because it's very easy to just get comfortable when you're in your own environment,
But also to be like bogged down in like what you have to do.
Yeah.
So I don't even I can appreciate people who take like leave from work and chill out at home, and that's like how they recover. If I'm at home, I will do stuff, or I'll worry, or I'll be like, oh, that needs dusting, or I'm gonna look at the crack in the wall that I haven't done. Like, it's gonna stress me out. I need to be physically removed from that environment.
To relax. Yeah, for real. I get that, definitely. For reals.
It's a very Gen Z thing to say.
It is. But yeah, I realise that isn't actually free, because if you want to do a date night outside the house, you'll have to probably spend money. I mean, you could do like a picnic in the park or something in summertime. Go for a walk. That's not engaging with the other person though.
If you're walking and talking.
No, but reading a book. Unless you're reading out loud to them, I guess. Maybe.
Let's take turns reading a page like at school.
I don't know.
Let's read it together.
And the last one, hop to it, Tash. This one is like the link is like depression or feelings of depression. And I was remind myself every single day that every day feels different. I said that wrong. Remind myself that every day feels different. If I'm really sad one day, the chances are I'll feel great tomorrow. No feeling is permanent. This honestly is like the truest thing ever.
Yeah.
Like you can have a bad day and just be like, but tomorrow I'll wake up and feel completely different. Sometimes you just wake up on the wrong side of the bed. It's really easy to feel low. Like it is. Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
I'm not being more like
how true it is.
And how like such an innocent expression that is, because I used to get told that like, oh, you've woken up on the wrong side of the bed. Yeah. It's true. It's so fucking true. And also anxiety for me, big thing.
Yeah.
Like I can definitely feel, even if it's like 2 days ago. I know I talk a bit about alcohol, but I suppose that's one of my things. I'm like. I love it. It's my vice. But it is a thing, and I can tell when I've woken up and I'm feeling anxious. Related to that. 100%. More so now than ever. Coffee too, though. Yeah. To come to think of it, like there's obviously I try not to I won't drink during the weekend, but I will have coffee, and it does put you on edge. But we are such short-term thinkers.
It's easy to think that feeling will last forever.
Yeah, but also I'd take it. Like I would take 2 hours of feeling chilled out with some wine. And ride off my whole next day. Like, I will take the now. I will bargain for now. And I will worry about later when later happens. But every time I'll do the same. I'll make the same decision. Same with coffee. Same with every vice. And that's why it's a vice, right? It's because it feels good at the time. But it, in the long term, won't serve you. But we are short-term thinkers. And some people will argue, well, life's too short. Be short-term thinkers. Live in for the here and now. Other people will argue, well, no, but you might still live beyond tomorrow, so don't just live for today. So that is not even advice remotely, but that's just ways people think.
Yeah, I totally get that.
I'm short-term thinking for sure.
Yeah.
Instant gratification.
Yeah. It is hard, honestly.
Yeah.
I think for me it's like knowing that it's not permanent is like what gets me through, honestly. It's like I can get through this feeling because I know that tomorrow I will feel different.
That's good.
And sometimes tomorrow doesn't feel different, and that sucks. But then the next day might, and then all of a sudden a week's gone by and you feel amazing. I think.
And you forget about it, right? What you worried
about.
Time
heals so much. Yeah. It's so people say it all the time, but it like there's just so much truth behind that.
Yeah. I can be obsessed with something. and really, really cut up about something that I've done or someone's done or an experience that I've had, and then it will feel like a distant memory. Like a month later, I'll be like, oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Crazy. We intensify things.
Yeah.
Like, really intensify them in our minds.
Definitely.
At the time. Because we can't live beyond.
Well, it feels like a whole world in the moment.
Yeah.
But actually, if you just get on with life, it kind of goes away.
Yeah, you keep distracted.
Yeah, unfortunately, that is it. Time heals. On that, I have a little saying.
Ooh.
That
I love deep quotes. This is my
not that
thing.
deep.
My phone screen is a deep quote. I love deep quotes.
It's not that deep, but
that's really
it was from.
I don't know if I want to hear it now. No, I don't want to hear it now.
It's good though.
No, I don't want to hear it. No one wants to hear it.
Bye.
Okay, thanks guys. Join us next week. Okay, give us your quote.
It was from one of the spin instructors at the spin studio I went to in London. Okay.
Okay.
And he said
I'm expecting something profound.
He's a professional
spin
instructor. Is that a thing? I don't think that's a thing.
Well,
anyways, he's spun for years. I don't even know if spun's a thing. I just said that doesn't sound right.
That is not a thing.
No, okay, well anyways, whatever. He's been an expert in his craft for years, okay?
Mm.
And something he says is that only 1 in every 3 rides is a great ride. Like, on the bike, right?
Okay.
It's really hard, honestly, if you never, like,
spun
before, you won't know, like the fact that it's honestly true. Like, a lot of the time you go and you're just like, this is shit, like, I'm having a terrible time here.
Like, I don't know how to spun.
I didn't spun correctly.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Anyways. It's the concept that 1 in 3 times is a success, basically. And it's not a true statistic or anything like that, but it's basically the concept of, like, you're going to have more failures than you are wins.
Sure.
And
you learn to deal with the failures.
Yeah, and I think there's, like, something very accepting about that fact. It's like, no, like, failures are part of it. You are going to have more failures than you are wins. So have those 2 failures and look forward to that 1 win.
Failure is a state of mind as well, though. Because what you think is failure could actually just be a growth lesson.
Oh,
it could be like, I didn't get that job. You could say, okay, I failed. Or you could say, it wasn't meant for me. And I have something bigger in store. So I do think failure is also a construct.
100%.
Because I could do this, I could do my music journey and in my mind fail. But failure for me means, it's like, it's so subjective to what I think I could have achieved. Other people could look at that and be like, oh no, you have achieved.
Yeah.
Like, you have done music. Well, how could you have failed? So it's just, I don't believe in failure.
No.
I don't. Actively, I've decided right this minute in time that I don't believe in failure. And I'm getting really passionate about it now.
I love that.
Because it's not true. Have you decided it right now?
No, I decided I don't believe in podcasting after 10 p.m. because
do you think we're just chatting?
My logical brain is out the window. Honestly, you have about 20% Tash here right now. So I'm just here nodding along and agreeing with everything you're saying. I got no fucking clue what I'm saying.
Honestly, I have been getting that vibe.
You're getting more hyperactive, and I'm getting.
I'm ready. I'm ready to I'm gonna do a little lesson about failure and.
But do a solo episode if you like.
I'll just do Halloween by myself. That was our next one.
I swear I am more dynamic than this, but you have to watch an earlier episode in order to see that.
Do you actually go to bed at 9 o'clock?
Yes, every single night.
Well, we're not going to bed now, are we?
No, not
Can
on
we
Saturday,
chill
but
now?
I never go to bed after midnight, ever.
We don't
Can't remember the last time. Yeah.
Okay, we don't have the podcast, but can we just not go to bed right now?
Briefly.
Until when? Give me until 11.
Until I literally fall asleep on the couch.
11.
Yeah, you can have me till 11.
Oh, great. I get Tash for half an hour. Lucky fucking me. Travels from Norfolk to record some podcasts and then Tash to sleep. Well, I did, and we started at 4 hours later. But we were catching up. It was very wholesome and very fun, and then we walked to the shop, and then we filmed some videos and stuff. So no, I'm not complaining. But at the same time, we're trash talking. It's good. Let's sign off. If this makes it into the podcast edit, Tash, guys, thanks for joining. Join us again. Tash will be more present, and I will just shut up. Because I'm overcompensating. And yeah, cool.
Right now I'm giving 20%, Cara's giving 80%.
No, I'm just giving I've clearly had wine and caffeine, And yeah, goodbye, good night.
Oh, thank you for watching.
Thanks.
Don't forget to like. You're like, are you sure?
Yeah, I don't like this.
Like, subscribe,
shocking.
comment something nice, not something mean. And we'll see you next week.
And if you want to comment something mean,
Don't. Actually, you know, all PR is good PR. Comment something horrible.
yeah,
Tell me what you like least about me.
Oh yeah, it's not gonna break me. I'm not gonna need to like cry and,
It's okay,
and have therapy to recover from it. Don't worry, I'm really not sensitive and not afraid of rejection.
Yeah, this podcast really has showed that.
Yeah, hasn't it? Right? Yeah. Nailed it.
Bye.